afternoon, Pats Nation. It's officially game day. I know Pats Nation, they're so excited for this upcoming AFC Championship in the high altitudes of Mile High in Denver, Colorado. You thought that you can keep us out with the tickets are only available in certain areas. Well, we have some Pats fans who actually live in the Midwest and not to mention Colorado. And by the way, we have a special guest per his request from last night, as usual. Before we invite him in, I want to ask you two, Austin and Andy, and as always, your captain, Dow, aka DTN, our thoughts heading to this game. Starting with you, Andy, and then get to Austin.
Well, oh jeez. For whatever reason, I don't know. The more I feel about this, the more I think about this game, honestly, the less optimistic I get about it. Call me crazy. I know. Cardiac Pats, we've been that all year. It's a backup quarterback. I know, there's all the talk about Belichick and Brady and backup quarterbacks, but we haven't really seen that much of Rabel and May against backup quarterbacks, especially on the road. So, but that environment, it's going to be tough to play in. I mean, I saw those Denver fans behind the broadcast crew. They're loud. But hey, it's the AFC Championship game. Whoever hosts it is going to have, their fan base out in full force. And this time it's Denver. So, and they deserve it. Their defense has played well. Sean Payton, like we were talking about last night, Bo Nix and Sean Payton are like the perfect match, perfect quarterback head coach combo, kind of like Drake May and Josh McDaniels seem to be this year. Both teams really deserve to be at this championship game, and I think it's going to be it's definitely going to be a close one. I will be surprised. I was surprised, I'll admit, when last week's Houston game was double digits. I'm surprised both these games have been double digits so far. But I think I'm not straying from my 2019 Pats overall score, but it should be a fun game.
Yeah. How about you, Austin?
Yeah, I'm genuinely excited for this game. I think it's been a long wait. Obviously, we didn't really expect this going into the season. So, anything past regular season has been pretty great. Obviously, we played a great defensive battle against the Chargers. We played probably our best defensive game of the entire season against the Houston Texans, which was crazy because coming into that game, all the talk was just defense, defense, defense. There's no way you lose. And now that we beat them, it just feels like the goalpost keeps moving. Like I mentioned before, I already really liked us with the matchup against Bo Nix and those Broncos. But the fact that Bo Nix isn't playing and people are acting like Stidham's the second coming or something like that, I don't know. I really predict, like I said, last night's show, it's gonna be a blowout. It might be a slow start, but I fathomingly, I can't understand how the Broncos are gonna stay in this game because I feel like Bo Nix was a lot of that offense. He was masking a lot of the problems on that O-line. I think that O-line isn't ranked number one, if not for Bo Nix's escapability and his legs. So I really think our defense is going to be able to get at him today. But yeah, my excitement is off the charts right now. I can't contain it. I was freaking out all week rather. And I'm ready for this game to start so the nerves can kind of settle.
Oh, I'm so excited for this game. You can say all you want of this is going to be a slugfest, but I'm predicting it's going to be a blowout. Before we let Eric in, and I know he's anxious to get in, please make sure that if you haven't already, as you come in, smash the like button if you haven't already, and that you are subscribed to this channel is the best way to help us support the channel. And you can do so further that you join the Patriots Clubhouse Discord. Later today at 3 p.m., Austin will be hosting the live watch party through the Patriots Global Discord or through the Patriots Clubhouse Discord. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much whatever's going to garner more traffic. The goal isn't to cut off fans of the Patriots. It's to give the ability for fans that don't really have the coverage to be able to watch it, or for just fans that want to come together and just have a little watch party while we watch the Pats hopefully win this championship game here and go to the Super Bowl.
And I know that there's going to be a lot of F-bombs. There's going to be a lot of rantering. There's going to be a lot of shouting. And I know there's going to be a lot of banter. But without further ado, let's bring on the main guest of today after his request from last night's show. And without further ado, let's bring him in. We got Mr. Eric. Welcome to the show, my buddy.
How's it going, guys?
We're doing okay. How are you? I know you. It looks like you got the sun out there in Colorado.
Oh yeah, we're all set up here. I'm tailgating with a few Patriot and Bronco fans out here.
Nice.
It's looking like the Bronco fans got the edge on us, though. I'm thinking probably 75-25% right now. But Patriot fans have shown up, so it's going to be a good time.
I mean, I'm a little bit surprised at how many Pats fans I've heard about being out there. Like, I mean, a quarter. I mean, that's a lot of the opposing fan base for a home championship game. But these
it is.
These are.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's quite a few Colorado Springs, big military town, so we come out here in full force when it's ready. I mean, you saw last night, if you saw the Patriots All Access show, Pikes Peak's Pats.
Yeah. At that bar.
Great fan club out here.
Our man Tyler is saying to you, Eric, you should have helped Patriots fans get tickets and use that address. Like, you shipped all of these Patriots fans from Foxborough to come up to Colorado Springs or wherever in Colorado, whether you're from the University of Colorado or Colorado State, to go watch this half of a game. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, I mean, I had enough money to buy one ticket to this thing, all right? I don't know if I had enough money to buy a bunch of tickets to get all y'all out here.
So, how much were the tickets for a Mile High, Eric, for this upcoming game?
The cheapest one that I saw was about $500, and the most expensive one that I saw was about $8,000.
Oh my God!
Who would pay that much for who would pay $8,000 for a football ticket?
I think the $8,000 one was their club seats.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not forking out that amount for an AFC championship game. I'll fork out $8,000 for a nosebleed for a Super Bowl, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's like the price for like a Taylor Swift concert, or by the way, a BTS concert. By the way, the BTS will be in Gillette Stadium on August for their concert tour. I know a couple of friends are going, and I know that concert tickets are more pricier than a football game, but nevertheless, let's get started with the inactives, which were officially announced. That we already know that Harold Landry will be out for Mike Vrabel, but in addition, we got Efton Chisholm out, CJ Dupree out, Marcus Bryant out, Caden Walls out, and Kobe Minor out on the Patriots side. So that double confirms that our boy Mac Hollins is gonna be back. So I want to ask you, Eric, what are your thoughts on our boy Mac Hollins being back on the team?
I love it, but I don't expect a lot from him. He's been out for a few weeks now. The elevation definitely plays a role up here. So I think he's going to be on a snap count. But I think he's a big enough game changer to where the Broncos defense will have to account for him. And that might open up the field for Diggs or Booty or somebody else to get the ball. But I don't foresee him playing every down at all. It's just too much to ask for his body, especially coming to a higher elevation.
Yeah, if I was Mike Vrabel or if I was Duron Mayo, who is in charge of like strengthening and condition, I would have make sure that Max Hollins plays like at least like 20 to 25% of the snaps. So like give the other guys like Diggs, Booty, Pop, and Williams a chance. So, but I'm gonna see a whole lot of usage of tight ends, and I know Andy alluded to like we can see Hunter Henry or Austin Hooper being the lead receiving in yards, right, Andy?
Yeah, 100%. I think that I can see this Denver D, especially with Pat Surtain, doing fairly well at taking away the deep parts of the field. And I don't. Peyton's not going to be stupid enough to like play Riley Moss in deep coverage and leave a Diggs or a Booty open for May to make that wide open deep field throw. So yeah, I think there's a decent chance that probably Hunter Henry will be the leading receiver today.
Sorry to cut you guys off. I just wanted to say I'm about to head into the stadium now. We're about an hour away from kickoff.
Okay.
Expect Hollins, though, to be on like big third down plays or big plays where we're going to need a receiver for May to go to.
Absolutely,
but other than that,
just like he was in Buffalo last postseason, yeah.
Exactly. But other than that, hopefully my phone has enough charge by the end of it. And if you guys are doing a post-game show, I'll be recording the AFC Championship presentation. Hopefully it's the Patriots that are receiving the Hunt Trophy. And then I'll be more than happy to jump back on post-game.
Well said, Mr. Eric. We'll see you in the post-game recap. I'm aiming that to be around like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. So I would assume in your area that would be like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Mountain time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, wait, Dal, you're not planning to do the post-game until tomorrow, yeah?
I'm doing the post-game recap tomorrow.
Yep, that's what I thought. Go.
Because I'm thinking that I would go on to Kobe's channel to join on his channel as a Patreon member, so that would be a possibility because I think Kobe's healthy now, so that's a huge plus. But yeah, Eric, have a great time, and I hope that we get to see a shit ton of pictures and a lot of like videos of like us scoring points, less so much of getting our asses kicked.
I'll put them in the chat for sure. But
yes, and
hey guys, you guys take it
game.
easy. Oh, I will. You guys enjoy the game from the TV, and I'll see you guys after the game.
Yep.
Alrighty, thank you, Eric.
Stay warm, man.
Thanks,
No
Eric,
problem.
for coming on. Appreciate it.
Well, that was the main moment. But by the way, to continue off the roster moves, so for Denver's side, I know Austin is hyped about this. Troy Franklin is going to be out with a hamstring. Bandy's going to be a healthy scratch. Alex Forsythe, ankle injury. Jordan Jackson. I don't know why I said Jordan Travis. He's already retired. Screw the Jets. Savion Jones is going to be out. Kareem Reed is going to be out. SL Skinner is going to be out with a quad. But
no J.K. Dobbins either. No, not J.K. Dobbins. R.J. Harvey.
What? No, RJ's in there.
No.
Yeah, you said J.K. Dobbins is out.
J.K. Dobbins is out. RJ Harvey's playing.
Oh, they are both on the Broncos. Oh, jeez. Holy shit.
It's hard to forget what I always thought that J.K. Dobbins was a Raven. I always thought he was a Raven.
I know. I still think of him as a Raven.
But how big is it, Austin, that Troy Franklin is out?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, you look at it like that's probably their number 2, maybe a number 1 on a good day. So, I mean, it definitely helps that Pat secondary, which I already really like the Pat secondary. Obviously, Craig Woodson, a rookie playing out of his mind, opposite of Jalen Hawkins, who we had brought in last year, who's been a pleasant surprise as well for our safety room. They were so good that we just shipped off Duggar and Peppers like it was nothing, basically. And then you got Gonzo practically locking down one side of the field. Carlton Davis, who I would compare penalty-wise is similar to a Riley Moss, where I expect them to go to Carlton Davis and try to target him and, get some plays off of him or get him to commit a penalty. But, yeah, not having Troy Franklin definitely going to hurt the Broncos. They still have size in Cortland Sutton, and in Pat Bryant, which is going to pose some problems. I don't want to see any switches where we see Marcus Jones having to cover Sutton. I think that would be a end game scenario where you're just losing every time. We saw what happened with Drake London when Marcus Jones got stuck on him a couple times. So definitely don't want to see that. But yeah, being down a receiver and them having to elevate some other receivers who really haven't played much. I know the mentality is always like next man up. And until that's proven, it's like, I don't know. So Broncos are really going to have to bring their A game for this game without their 1-2 target at wide out there.
Yeah, and it seems like the Patriots have to bring out their A game on defense if they want to remain as one of those underdogs when it comes to the defense, because everybody talks about the Chargers defense and the Texans defense and the Broncos defense and say that these defenses are inferior, but no one talks about the Patriots defense, Andy, and I don't know why, but whenever no one mentions the Patriots defense, they seem to play lights out. Like you can see Milton Williams being back, Robert Spillane mainly being back as the defensive play caller to the team, and this is going to be huge to see how well Milton Williams and Christian Barmore are going to do up against with their starting center back. I think his name is Wattenberg, who took it over for Cushenberry.
Correct. Yeah, I had a kind of a pre-game show on last week. His name was Travis Thomas, and he was like, I do not understand why nobody is talking about this Patriots defense. And still, I mean, granted, yes, some of the broadcasters, it's like, okay, here's May. He's a good quarterback. He's an MVP candidate. But you're still not hearing a lot of talk about, especially the Pats' defensive front with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore and Joshua Farmer and Kyrie's Tonga. I mean, when you had all four of those guys healthy, we had possibly the top run defense in the league. And with them back, especially Williams, not so much Tonga, he came back for the Houston game, but especially with Williams back, we have been the number one run defense in the playoffs. So that'll be huge for stopping a guy like RJ Harvey. Gonzo has been a lockdown corner despite having no picks. He's I don't have the Discord up right now, but he has like what, 8 or 9 pass breakups. And the Pats are like 1 and have gone 1, and 2 of our 3 losses came without Gonzo. 2 of our 3 losses actually came without Christian Gonzalez on the field.
I would say when you collectively take the 3 losses, both of them are losses without Gonzo and Milton Williams collectively. Because
without either Gonzo or Milton Williams, correct. Wait, did we not have Gonzo for that second Buffalo game?
We did have Gonzo,
but we didn't have Milton.
Correct.
We didn't have Milton,
that's right.
Nor Roberts.
Yeah. No, right, yeah. Yeah, having both of them back is huge. And if we have, anything at edge rusher, I would have to say it's probably, what would you say, Spillane and Chason? I mean, could Chason get a big play in again? Absolutely. But if we do have a concern, on defense, I like the D line. I like the cornerbacks. See, Carlton Davis did step up in that Houston game. Woodson has played lights out. If there is a concern on that defense, it is defensive end.
Yeah.
Chason has stepped up in key moments. I have to give him his flowers for that, but that is a position we'll need to look at in the draft.
Oh, that is going to be a huge position. And speaking of draft, we will definitely go deep dive into me and Tyler and a couple of you guys, and also bringing in Nelson on to discuss the preview for the Senior Bowl, which is coming up soon. So, like, during our little gap time, if we were to make the Super Bowl, there will be a small small smidget of time to like discuss the players that the Patriots may want to look into for the in the Senior Bowl, whether regarding young tight end, regarding an edge rusher, regarding a big tall wide receiver, because as far as we know, we can't just have, and sorry to discriminate you, Pop Doggers, I'm gonna call you, we don't want midgets at wide receivers. We want, because we all know what happened when Drake May threw we'll get to it later when we talk draft. But what else do I want to think about? When we talk about this, Austin, now I just realized something. How crucial is it for this? We all know that this defense, this playoffs defense, has been balling out. But why doesn't the media talk about the defense when it shows out in the playoffs, when they generally, Drake May has been carrying this team technically in the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the regular season, right, nothing genuinely stands out about the Patriots defense. You would say for the first couple weeks of the season, let's say to week 10, right? That's a little bit more than a couple, but they were really good at stopping the run. They did force a lot of these teams that we were going against to have to pass. Then you started getting injuries where it's like Milton Williams is out, Tonga's out, Spillane misses game, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson are out for multiple weeks. We still found ways to win, and some of them were convincing, but some of them were close. Obviously, we had the game against Buffalo, which I think was a crucial loss for us because we needed to know like what losing feels like again, and we never want to feel that again, basically. And I think it taught us, like, when you're ahead, you can't let off the gas. So I feel like if we were to get ahead today, we're not going to let off the gas. But yeah, we keep getting disrespected defensive wise, and I don't get it. I think the media is they're just moving the goalpost. And what I mean by that is I can tell you so many people that were like, oh, the Patriots are going to be one and done in the playoffs. They're going to go in and the Chargers are going to come to their stadium and they're going to absolutely beat the brakes off the Patriots. And then what happened? Our defense practically shut Justin Herbert down 3 points the entire game. They flew across the country to come kick a field goal. And then it turned into, oh, well, actually, Justin Herbert's O-line sucks, and the Chargers actually aren't all that good, and their defense really isn't. Okay. And then we move on to the Texans, and it's like, oh, this Texans defense is generational. This is 85 Bears. This is 2000 Ravens. No fly zone Broncos. Like, there's no way the Patriots are going to win. CJ Stroud's going to, bounce back from some of the mistakes he made in Pittsburgh. He's going to ball out. And the Patriots defense played way better than the offense. Even though the offense did still find ways to score, I think it's important that we note that, because without those moments in the game, we don't win that game. But our defense was key in dictating how the Texans were able to play that game. And then it moved to, 31 other QBs could have won that game. Oh, the Pats defense isn't really that good. CJ Stroud is the reason they lost. At what point does it become the Patriots defense is the reason they couldn't play good, instead of, no, they were just bad to begin with? But it wasn't talked about. Nobody picked us to win beforehand, but it's only after we win that those goalposts keep moving. And honestly, today is a lose-lose, because on one hand, if you beat Stidham, it's congrats. Your generational Mickey Mouse Super Bowl run continues. You guys beat no one. If we lose to Stidham, oh my God, you lost to a backup who hasn't played in 2 years. You guys suck. It's just, you can't win as a Pats fan right now. And honestly, the only way to put it to bed is to just cry yourself with another Lombardi. So I'm really hoping that we just win the Super Bowl, and it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Once you win, you win.
That's exactly what this is, Austin. There was a guy on the pregame show today who was basically looking at Vrabel and May and thinking, holy crap, these sons of guns are back again. It's only been 5 years. I mean, us as Pats fans, it seemed like a lifetime. But that is 100% coping. When people say, even you hear it with some of the Boston media, it's like, okay, look at the Chargers defense. They have sugar piece. Of course, I'm blanking. Khalil Mack.
But Dupree and Derwin James.
Thank you, Derwin James. Look at the Texans fly zone with Hunter and Anderson. They got Stingley, a cornerback. Now it's look at the Broncos, and there are people that the Pats, don't have a good history with backup quarterbacks, and you're 100%, you are totally right, Austin, that if we go in there and beat Stidham, and this is despite the narrative of the Pats not doing well against backup quarterbacks, if we beat one, that's going to be the narrative. It's going to be, oh, okay, cakewalk to the Super Bowl. And like I said about last year's Commanders, they had almost as much of a cakewalk as these Pats. And it was all Jaden Daniels did this, Jaden Daniels did that. The defense made a play here. Yeah. You get none of that with these Pats, and that's where the coping comes in.
I think part of it too is like it's kind of what you said there, where it's like they expect us to win at this point, which is crazy because if you go back to the beginning of the season, nobody expected us to do anything more than 7 wins, even knowing the type of schedule we had. Right. 7 wins.
6 to 8. I thought 9 tops.
I had 11.
You had 11?
I had 11.
Yeah.
Well, we worked on it together technically, and we got 11 and 6. Us three worked on it together on a live stream. But I think NJ mentioned something. Now they're saying it's a Mickey Mouse run. It goes back to what Thomas said when it comes to like a Mickey Mouse run and how I would say the LeBron James run for the Lakers to win their NBA championship, that's categorized as a Mickey Mouse run. Not the Patriots, hell, not even the Boston Celtics. I would compare our Patriots to the 2024 Boston Celtics team. Only difference was that the Boston Celtics had at least made it to the NBA Finals within the ECF Eastern Conference Finals. But when we talk, it's like when the Celtics made their run to the NBA Finals, and why I'm saying this particularly because it's regardless that anything Boston related, other outsiders, like whether they're not from Boston or whatnot, they will find excuses for why these teams shouldn't win. Like, for example, for the Boston Celtics in 2024, they beat a Miami Heat team without Jimmy Butler. They beat a Cleveland Cavaliers team without Donovan Mitchell. They beat an Indiana Pacers team without Tyrese Halliburton. And they beat the Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Now they're saying the same thing with the 2025 New England Patriots team. People are saying they will move the goalpost of saying that, particularly with the fan bases saying that, the Chargers defense or we'll beat the brakes off of the Patriots because we have experience in the playoffs. No, you don't, because you're winless with Justin Herbert. What happened? Like, you blow a lead against the Jaguars. You threw 4 interceptions against the Texans, and now look what you did. You had the audacity to bench your quarterback, thinking with Trey Lance starting against the Broncos, thinking that you had a chance. But you should have known that if you didn't lose to that game against the Texans on Christmas, you should have known that you would have competed for the AFC West division, and then you would have had a chance to get a home field advantage and then have the Broncos play as the underdogs. Then when it came to the Texans, you are so cocky that you think that you can beat the brakes off of Drake May, while CJ Stroud, after that false game against washed up Aaron Rodgers, and by the way, going up against this, you didn't even do well against this expensive defense from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So by the way, the Steelers hired Mike McCarthy as their head coach. And now as we head into the Broncos, this is not going to be an easy fight for either team. But what I do know is that the Broncos did not look dominant against the Buffalo Bills. You can say, that catch should have been a catch or the Buffalo Bills should have won. I will give them credit that they forced turnovers onto Josh Allen, but that doesn't give an excuse for why the Patriots should be in the conversation. Like, we exceed so many expectations. Like Mike Vrabel said, our goal is to compete for championships, win the division, and host playoff games. And we have done just that.
Exactly. And that they were lucky that was a pick by Raekwon McMillan. And they were extremely lucky to get it because the Bills were that close to being like the first ever team to win a playoff game with that negative a turnover differential. I mean, that's how good Josh Allen is. And that is how much the Denver Broncos had fallen off toward the last few games of the regular season and heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But even with that week off, they still, kudos to McMillan for making that pick, but they looked rusty against Buffalo.
Yeah, they did. But before you can say all you want of like the Chargers and Texans Broncos, let's go back to the beginning of the season where it was touted that Buffalo would win the division. I said that our expectation
biggest divisional favorite.
Yep. Our expectation was at least get a winning record and at least make the playoffs. I didn't expect us to win the division. But the fact that Bills Mafia were that cocky saying that we're going to go undefeated, we're going to get our first Super Bowl win, and look what happened in reality. And we ended that undefeated season for the Buffalo Bills, and now the Dolphins get to hype that up. You were that lucky that Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. I'm just going to say Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes because Joe Burrow's team, unfortunately, they haven't been successful ever since that Super Bowl run back in 2021. Unfortunately, I'm going to apologize. Don't even mention Daddy Tua because that guy is going to be gone regardless now with a new general manager and new head coach. So I don't know what
calls him Daddy Tua.
So this influencer named Tyler T Sports, he's like one of those biggest delusional. But that's what I hate. You have so many of these fans who doubted the Patriots with Mike Vrabel saying, "Oh, we're going to be 7-10." We exceeded so much expectations. We did something that the Dolphins failed to do, which is beat the Buffalo Bills and win the division. Something that the 2023 Dolphins team, with all of that talent, failed to do. We won the division with barely any talent on offense. Think about it. We did not have a Tyreek Hill. We did not have a Jalen Waddle. We do not have a Devon Achane. And we still managed to do it by beating.
Right, and the fit. If you're looking at the Finns, you're like, yeah, that year they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and I think they had Devon Achane that year too. And they get blown out in the wild card round by Buffalo. And you're like, okay, these Finns are a joke. If we can only get a competent coaching staff back, they're beatable. Here we are.
Same with the Jets. When they had Aaron Rodgers, they had a short period of time to dethrone the Buffalo Bills, and they could not get it done. You can make the same excuse like, oh, Aaron Rodgers suffered a Achilles tear and you had stuck with Zach Wilson. You had another opportunity to do so in 2024 and you could not get it done. And Buffalo Bills, by like week 14 or 15, they already won the division. Like, no one, and when it comes to the Patriots, everybody's, stop worrying about the past. Why are there a couple of teams like the Dolphins and the Jets still talking about the past? Like say we can't talk about the past. Well, they're still talking about the past, like when the Dolphins had an undefeated season, made the Super Bowl, or that 1969 Super Bowl. Like, I don't get it. Like, thank God we have Mike Vrabel to shut everybody up. We have Drake May, who is humble. You have quarterbacks in our division who are not that humble and they're that cocky. So I am thankful that we have Drake May. I am thankful that we have Mike Vrabel. I'm thankful, more importantly, that we have Robert Kraft realizing that Gerard Mayo was a huge mistake. Bill Belichick is not what he once was anymore. We won the division. We have made to the AFC Championship, and we have exceeded so many expectations. And now that we're going to be faced with a true test this upcoming season in 2026 by going up against these number one teams in the NFC West, South, North, and everyone in the AFC West.
Exactly, Dow. Having an owner who is owning past mistakes and who is realizing that the old playbook is no longer working is a huge plus. And that's something you don't have in the greater NFL. Like, still, there are people saying, oh, look, the number one, by a country mile, the number one coach opening right now is Buffalo. because who doesn't want to coach Josh Allen? Well, look at the way, Pagula and Bean are talking about the McDermott firing. Does that look appealing to a potential head coaching candidate? I don't think so. Give me your 2 cents, guys.
Same with the Jets. What about Woody Johnson, who basically there were allegations in an Athletic Post that his sons were influencing him by building the team that have great Madden ratings. Like, that is so stupid. And then you have Stephen Ross, before they even fired McDaniel and Greer, saying that you have full trust in Greer and McDaniel, who, by the way, Chris Greer, before he got let go by the Dolphins, he was with the Patriots before he went to the Dolphins. And if it wasn't for Greer being gone, if we still had Greer, it would have been worse for the New England Patriots. And I wasn't even born during that time. So I would say I would rank Robert Kraft above those 3 individuals in the division. Pagula, going back to your point about Pagula, Andy, he did not do well with the Buffalo Sabres. And he's taking over the late, great Ralph Wilson, who helped the Patriots from preventing the Patriots to go to St. Louis when we had new owner, when we were supposed to have new ownership and we weren't doing well in the past. So when we think about it, you have so many fan bases from those 3 teams in the AFC East still crying and moaning that we're back in the division while they're still stuck in their chairs crying like it's nothing. Like, this is so satisfying when you think about it, Austin.
Yeah, definitely. A little tidbit I wanted to say too is I was looking at some social media, and it was Andy Borregales taking some pregame kicks. Looks as though he made a 62-yarder, and they said the kick had enough to be good from 70.
Nice.
So I'm thinking the elevations is definitely going to help with the range of Andy Borregales, and I just hope that when his name is called, he can hit those crucial kicks for us, because I definitely feel like this is a game where it's going to be a take the points type of game, but I also feel like this is a game where you have to lay it all on the line. I expect the Broncos to probably go for it on every 4th down. I don't know. It just feels like that's the shape their team is in.
Back in week 6, when the Jets played against the Broncos in London, I still don't understand why Aaron Glenn didn't want Nick Folk to kick that score, didn't want to kick that field goal, and not having the knowledge that you can kick from 70 yards. You can do it with Andy Borregales. Why couldn't you do it with Nick Folk? Because you're the New York Jets, the bottom feeders in the division. And I've been saying it for a billion times why. But going back to...
Bro, Nick Folk is not making a 60-yard kick. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't think? What makes you say that? I loved Folk, but no, he didn't really make it. Or Austin, that's a good point. He never really made it from much north of 50. So yeah, you'll see. You're seeing these long field goals from Little and Borregales, and
I love Nick Folk, but I feel like
Harrison Mavis. Yeah, you're right. Folk's not making.
I love Nick Folk, but I feel like we had no choice, but we had to move on, and he's gonna retire soon. So his 40-year-old legs are not gonna do it. But going back to let's quickly talk about elevation before we sign off, because I think the game is about to start in half an hour. But when we talk about the elevation, there are some players that could be in danger when it comes to elevation, including Christian Barmore, but I know Mike Vrabel said that doesn't concern. But with Christian Barmore's health potentially being re-aggravated because of those blood clots that he had last season, how essential is it, Andy, for the strength and conditioning team or the medical staff to make sure that all the players are healthy and ready to go? Because we haven't played at Mile High since Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's super, super essential now, to make sure all of those guys are healthy before you take the field, because this is a playoff team. This is a playoff game. It's for the Super Bowl. It's a road game in a tough environment. You want to make sure you have your players totally ready to go, and that means physically and mentally. And your strength and conditioning coach is doing totally the right thing by keeping an eye on Christian Barmore, because if he starts, like, say, I don't know who we'd have for him as a backup, maybe Jeremiah Farms, I'm not sure, just spitballing. If he does start to show a sign of being a little bit out of it in the middle of the game, I mean, obviously we don't want to have to make the in-game adjustment, but you make sure you have the backup guy there in case you got to do it.
Yeah. So, like, if Barmore were to have his blood clots, like, re-aggravating, you at least have your other players like Joshua Farmer. You still have
exactly
the Jets cast off Leonard Taylor. You still have a lot of pieces. So, but final note before we get into the before we like log off and get ready for the game. Well, I want to ask you guys one specific phrase of, like, what should you expect from the Patriots? What is your key? I would say, how do I phrase it? What is the biggest key for the Patriots to win the Lamar Hunt Trophy? I'll start with you, Andy.
Biggest key to win the Hunt Trophy is protect the football. I mean, Drake, take sacks. Don't try to play hero ball. Don't try to throw it downfield when you've got a guy, flying straight in your face. Because that could set up a big defensive play for the Broncos. I know he hasn't been a liability since that first Buffalo game in any form, but yeah, it's going to be cold out there. It's not going to be snowing. I don't think ball security is going to be as much of a problem potentially for Mondre as it would have been during the Houston game when it wasn't. But yeah, I think protecting the football, I got this listening to Alex Barth and Matt Dollop this morning, is the number one thing for the New England Patriots to walk out of Denver with a win and a bye week before Super Bowl 60.
How about you, Austin?
Yeah, so I'm going to take a page out of Johnny Lawrence's book from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, and I'm just going to say that defense needs to strike hard, strike first, and no mercy. This defense has to pretty much just play lights out, has to be super aggressive, physical, just get in the head of Jared Stidham, and I think that's our easiest path to victory. I just need the offense to kind of take care of what they've been taking care of. But yeah, I think this game starts with the defense, man. It's like they say, defense wins championships. I know it's a nuanced saying, but it's true. Most of the time when you win the Super Bowl, you got a top defense at your helm. So yeah.
Look at Philadelphia last year. That was defense. They butchered Mahomes. Yeah, they bullied Mahomes from start to finish.
I would not say that Eagles offense was anything crazy. I mean, like, carried by Saquon, basically.
Right, exactly. It was Zach Bond and Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, and it was their defense.
And heck, the last legs of Brandon
Cooper DeJean.
Yep, and
go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, also the last legs of Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
For me, I want to say win the turnover margin. If we win the turnover margin, we win the game. So basically, if we force more turnovers than the Broncos, that says a lot about this debate that the Patriots defense have been underestimated from the whole entire media. This just shows that we turn the ball over. Drake May will at least turn the ball over, but I hope not too many times, but we have to win the turnover bar margin. But you know what happens when we win games? Fans of these loser teams will find excuses, and it's going to be unpleasant. But that is what it is. It's life. There's nothing you can do about it. But that's going to be it for today's little pregame show. And I know this was Eric's request. Huge shout out to Eric for joining the show. I know he really wanted for us to do the show, and I'm like, I was scared that I wouldn't be available, but thankfully, in midst of all of this snow and in midst of all of this chaotic weather, I hope everybody stays warm. I hope everybody is lying on their couch watching the big ass TV watching this big game, and if we win the game, it's Super Bowl bound.
That's what it's doing here right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad outside, but yeah, let's just go get this dub. Let's have fun watching this game, guys.
Yeah, let's enjoy the
Yep.
snowstorm. I know that classes for me have been canceled for me tomorrow, so that's a huge plus.
There you go.
Except where I have to read the stupid ass syllabus. But nevertheless, let's enjoy the game. Let's enjoy the moment. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, before I say let's go past, subscribe, click like, join the Discord, share this with all your friends, and turn on them bell notifications. And as we say it, ladies and gentlemen, let's
go Pats.
Pats.
Peace out.